Okay, so heading into game 3, we're coming up with a bit of a match versus Lexi and Oldhim, which is the first. We've seen all 3 heroes now, at least.
Yeah, which is good. This is our second time seeing Zac on stream.
Yep.
So we know a bit what to expect here. Solid Oldhim deck.
Yep.
Plenty of thumps, plenty of boosts.
Lots of damage. It's very much worrying when you're coming up against an Oldhim who's swinging at you for 7, 8 every turn.
It's good tempo. You normally worry about getting fatigued against Oldhim, but that's not the case with this deck. It's capable of doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting fatigued, just blocking out.
Yeah.
Every turn. It's a different kind of fatigue, right? But no, it looks like. Well, how does Lexi want to approach this matchup then? Because I feel like it's pretty difficult.
I think you need to be boosting as much as you want, but as much as you can. You're trying to get as much damage through as possible, because there's always that threat of Oldham's defense reactions, and you want to be dominating wherever you can.
Yeah.
Just to kind of keep him off the blocks.
Now, this will be a bit difficult, as Zac does have a lot of defense reactions in this deck.
Yeah.
A few turn timbers. But how did Seth's deck go in terms of pumps and?
It was doing some serious work. I played it in the previous rounds.
Yep.
Managed to keep good tempo with it and was just slightly ahead until the Ragamuffins drew him into a Pulse of Volthaven, which was probably the turning point in the game, I'd say, and that was dominated.
What are the odds of that, man?
1 in 30.
Yeah, it's probably around there. Yeah. So Zac's already rubbing his hands together, pretty happy with himself, just throwing out a mulch. And the biggest part of this turn, as well, there's 2 really good things about this, right? Is that he's tripping out cards that Seth probably doesn't want to lose. At the same time, able to put a turn timber in Arsenal turn 1.
Yeah, which is going to be great in Lexi when they're running the Shiver. It's just pure value.
So at the point that Seth decides to take damage, or to hold on to the cards, he's just going to be able to turn timber in response, to a pumped up arrow, which I think they're just getting the life total sorted out now. But yeah, he's perfectly set himself up here. There we go. They can see it. They're getting it sorted. This is beautiful. I'm sorry I didn't have the foresight to do this in my first game.
That's fine. It's a fast Briar game.
Yep. Okay, so taking 2. I think that's fine. He has kept the pumps, so he did keep Overflex and the Bolton shot, I think.
And I think that's absolutely right. You have to in this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, we see a Chilling Ice Vein and Electrify. So Chilling Ice Vein is not going to get too much, but I feel like, I don't know. What's your line of play here?
I can't quite see the resources. Ideally, you want the boost into the Chilling, save the Electrify for Arsenal next turn.
Yeah.
So you get a bit of card advantage.
So
and you're getting Lexi's ability for some go again.
Yeah. So pitch that Bolton shot, potentially.
Yeah. Or the other play, I guess, is boost the Bolton shot, so you're turning on the go again on the reload.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking about, but I don't know if Chilling is the way. And if you do that, then you don't have Electrify and Arsenal at the end.
Yeah.
No matter which way you play it, he will reload it. Activate. Now that's smart. Because now he can play the Electrify, draw another card, and he's still got Shiver on tap. So at this point, you absolutely just dominate the Bolton shot. You can put Polar Blast, and you can reload the Polar Blast. Although it's the same as putting an Arsenal at the end of turn, but
if he'd hit an arrow at that point, that would have been
huge.
See.
Yeah. Using the reload mechanics is very smart, and it's...
Seth's an experienced Lexi player, so he brings that to most tournaments.
Yeah.
He's drafted it a few times now, so
I think it's his go-to, right?
Yeah.
If he can try and force Lexi, he will force Lexi.
So what would you be forcing then in Entail's draft?
It wouldn't force. Let's go with
you
that.
draft the seat.
I draft the seat.
Yeah, good man.
I mean, I've yet to draft a Lexi, but that's not because I don't like Lexi. I enjoy her way more than Briar.
Yeah.
I just don't get the opportunity. And double turn timber.
1 from Arsenal, 1 from hand. Seth's asking where the second one came from. There's nothing up his sleeve, I'm afraid.
Oh my god. And yeah, that's one way to block it out. He does. I think he would. Are we missing something? I guess he had to pay more.
To pay for it.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I mean, this is just going to be a Titan Sith for 4. I say just, but it adds up.
Yeah, you do that every turn. You're either forcing 1 or 2 cards out of their hands.
Yeah.
And if Lexi's just cracking back with 2 cards, one's to pitch, one's to fire.
Yep.
Oldham's happy about that. Oldham wins that race all day.
Mm-hmm. All day, every day. So he's got a bit of an interesting hand. He's got I think it's a Cold Wave in the middle there as well. A Weave Ice, Chilling Ice Vein, and I think a Snapshot. So I want to say you opt to block with 1 card here, take 1, just shoot an arrow, fuse it, and then put the Weave Ice into the arsenal.
Yeah, because I think you want to be trying to control Oldhim a little bit.
Yeah.
And using Lexi's ability as much as possible is the best way to get that done.
Yeah, rather than pump and hope, which you're not getting your effects off. So, yeah, I think this is absolutely the play. So I think he's going to do this now, which is dominate the arrow, and or maybe just +1 it, +1 threaten truth, like threaten a frostbite. Because I can't tell what color that is, unfortunately. If it was a red, I would probably dominate it, because I feel like the frostbite's high value there, which I think he did.
Yeah, it looks like he did. If it's only coming back with 1 card.
Yep, and then he arsenal, and did I miss something? Or maybe he just hasn't provided the frostbite.
I don't think it was a blizzard. I think it was a flake out, which has dominate if it's fused.
Oh, okay. So he would have given a +1 anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, that checks out. Yep. Zac cracking the Code of Frost to then swing at him for an entangle. So Code of Frost, I think, is underrated. I think it's a good piece of equipment.
Yeah, just slow down your opponent that little bit.
Yeah, just that turn that you're not swinging back hard. You've got like a pretty off turn.
Yeah.
It's a great card.
I feel Entangle's not a terrible turn.
No, it's not. And it looks like a yellow Entangle, so it's coming in for 6. That's 2 cards plus a Frostbite. Or you take 6 and you're going to play around a Frostbite, which he can do. He has an Entwine Ice in hand. And I think a Chill to the Bone in the back. It's a bit hard to tell how he's holding, but that's fine. He's got options. So either way, he's going to flip the Weave Ice and Arsenal, play the Weave Ice. So whatever he was playing this turn initially, he's getting Dominate.
Yeah.
Which means he can be a bit more liberal with these blocks as well.
See, I think he can, but we'll see here. He's taking a 4. Yeah, 3 even.
So we'll note as well that he has to pitch to activate Lexi here because of the Frostbite. So that Chill to the Bone isn't going to get value immediately, but it'll come back later on. Just handing him back the Frostbite. Like, this is yours.
Yeah.
Don't give it to me. Yep, Weave Ice. So I guess he's just going to play Entwine Ice here. I think that's fine. You fuse it.
Yeah, can you dominate?
I mean, I was getting Dominate after fusing because of the Weave Ice anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just double Dominate. Yeah, you can't block with any card.
Thankfully, Dominate doesn't stack.
Imagine if it did, though.
You'd have a whole new build then, just trying to get double Dominate and everything.
But I think that'd be pretty fun. I don't know if it'd be busted because you're taking a lot in return to try and get it off.
It kind of feels almost like Rhinar, really.
Yeah.
You can't. Rhinar is most intimidating. You're not blocking with anything.
Well, who knows?
Sunward doing work.
Yep, blocking for 6. Sunward's one of those cards that I've been off and on with. I feel like it has potential, but I feel like I'm disappointed by it whenever I play it.
I feel like it's a sideboard card in draft.
Yep.
I don't think you take it in every matchup. I think, against Lexi, it's a must-have. Maybe Oldhim.
Yeah.
You just leave it out against Brian.
Right. If you're playing Oldhim, I think it's fine. Because you try to use it immediately, right?
Yeah.
And so the strat there is if you have Plume, you can pitch. If another card is getting dominated at you, you can pitch Plume, get the Summerwood Shelter back, play the Summerwood Shelter on top of whatever you're blocking with. And I think that's a great piece of the puzzle there. And that looks like a Polar Blast.
Yeah, played from Arsenal, so we're churning out Frostbite, so we're keeping the pressure on.
Mm-hmm. and he looks like he's pitching a blue there, so there might have been a red Polar Blast as well.
Yeah. So just trying to prevent the dominate.
What is going on here? Is he... I think Seth might have pointed at the Frostbite, thinking that Frostbite accounts for Polar Blast, which it does not.
It does not. It's not an activated ability or a card. It's a cost.
Yeah. So yeah, looks like Zach's just kind of going to reap what he sorrows here in terms of not pitching previously for it, which if he didn't pitch previously is what it is, but they're not pitching for this, so maybe he just took the decision back and I'm blowing everything out my ass. Who knows?
Yeah. Winter's Bite paid for, so not discarding a card.
Yeah.
So just finding a way to keep the pressure on. Does he even have an arrow? I see another Polar Blast.
I thought I saw he wouldn't pitch a Blizzard Bolt to just do that, right?
You'd hope not.
I mean, he does have Shock Striders in hand, so maybe he's just opting to do that. Which, if it's dominated, sure, why not? He does have a red Flake Out. So, we'll dominate this. Not fusing it.
Another turn Timber.
Yep. So that's the third one so far.
Yeah.
Plus the Somewhat Shelter from earlier. That's a lot of value.
Covering up a lot of big attacks. Doing well.
Yeah, and this is just kind of how the matchup plays if you're not able to get, tall enough. Or able to go wide. If you're able to find a way to go again, like a Dazzling Crescendo, or just even like a Lightning Surge, or like a Lightning card in Arsenal.
Yeah.
Because even if you're like Lightning card, like put your Shock Striders in the Arsenal, reveal it, play it, that's still 5 damage.
Yeah, and you're forcing cards out of their hand and more cards. It's not easy to efficiently block that.
Yeah. Pretty efficient as well in terms of cost.
Yeah, just for one.
Yeah.
And yeah, here it comes.
He does have a good follow-up hand as well, which is always worrying if you're on the other end of it. But something he does need to be aware of is, how long is he going to be able to last? Is he going to be able to put the pressure through? All right, little decisions like playing the Chill to the Bone here. I do think it's a good idea because Chill to the Bone applies to all attacks, right?
Yeah,
it's
so
not
you're
just
getting those Frostbites in, keeping the pressure on. Because the less you have to defend, because they're paying more for Frostbites, means you can crack back harder.
Yep.
You can get value out of your limited supply of attacks.
Yeah, exactly. So he does have Go Again here, I believe.
Yes.
Which means
off of Lexi.
Yep, off of Lexi, which means he will be able to reload Shiver, which is an instant, so it doesn't break the chain, and then also shoot the arrow. But looking at Zach's hand here, he's got a bit of an awkward block. He does double pitch here. Now, what Seth can do is, as an instant, reload Shiver using both cards.
Yep.
One to pitch and the other to play, because I believe he's doesn't have any more floating. It's a bit hard to tell though. I'm actually curious as to what they're discussing at the moment.
It seems to be something to do with Oldham's ability.
Yep. Because as far as I'm aware, he did pitch both for the Oldham's ability, so that should be fine.
Yeah, it should trigger both. So one will go back on his top of his deck, but yeah, he can pitch for it.
Yep.
That'll be fine.
And there is a way around this as well. If you're Seth at the moment and you're finding that you've got one floating, so you can already reload Shiver, you can actually pitch the 2 for Shock Striders, like instant ability. But again, we don't know what that color that other card was.
Yeah.
So that did kind of shut down this turn a little bit, and I don't know if Seth is overly happy about that. But it looks like he's able to pay everything.
Yeah, it must be a blue pitch there, so that covers Shock Striders, reload, fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ice reaction has prevented that getting fused, so...
Yep, and that is 3 Frostbites as well. It's still a lot, regardless. The ice reaction is... I've got a love-hate relationship with it. It's definitely good in some cases, and against some,
Yeah.
characters that don't have a lot of instance and
A lot of go wide kind of classes, shutting those down.
Exactly. And that was actually when Ice was announced. I thought, the Oldhim's defense reaction would be like just 100% counter Dorinthia. But after learning how reactions and instants properly worked from the stack down and how they were built back up, we just never played it correctly.
Yeah.
We, as in, from what I've seen, like games that we've been watching as well, and I think it's a learning experience for the entire community.
Yeah, it's one of the commonest things you see questions on in like all the Q&A discords and the judge discords.
Yeah.
It seems to be a really tricky thing for people to wrap their head around. I think just with people's history with Magic, just slightly counterintuitive to that.
Yep. And we do see the Amulet of Ice played, then Blizzard Bolt shot, fused the Polar Blast, and then also as an instant triggering Amulet of Ice to try and force another discard.
Yeah, just trying to keep a tempo.
Yep. I think Zac discarded that Snow Under. Was happy to and just pay for the Oldhim defense reaction. And Zac's still able to defend a lot of these attacks.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the right choice, I think.
Yes.
You're just waiting for Seth to run out of arrows at this point.
Yeah, and even that hand there, drawing one card non-attack, drawing another card instant, drawing another card non-attack, you're praying that last card is an attack action that you can use there. And he did draw it, and look, this is going to be a huge turn. It's an Invigorate, Pulse of Oldhaven. He's going to play the Polar Blast out as well. Yeah, absolutely would. Why not? Draw a card. Oh, I don't think this could have worked out any better.
It's going to be big.
Yeah.
Just looking at Zac's hand, don't see any defense reactions in his hand. Maybe in his arsenal?
Potentially.
Is that another turn timber?
No, I think surely not. Right? That's an entangle, right?
Okay, it could be.
In hand, I think. Yeah, okay, that's an entangle. That's not a turn timber. But I hope, for Seth's sake, there's no turn timber in Arsenal. So that'll be 4 turn timbers.
Yeah, that's too much.
The joys of a 6-man pod. But because I took a turn timber as well when there was nothing coming around for me.
Really?
Yeah, so there were a lot of turn timbers in our 6-man pod. That's kind of worrying.
I guess
not worrying, but
18 packs.
Yeah.
Is, reasonable odds it gets.
Well, it takes up a rare slot each,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
So just fusing with the Pulse of Oldhaven, setting that up for next turn.
Yep.
That's going to be good. So you're going to get both effects when you Lexi that if he puts it in his arsenal.
Yep. And I think you absolutely have to here. You can't just full send it. This is still going to be a very tall hand. And there is the on hit as well. And he does have the Mark of Lightning, which will trigger that effect again as well, as it is a separate source of damage. Does trigger Oldhim Earth Defense reaction to prevent 2. And what is Seth going to do here? I mean, he does take damage, so he does have to pay the cost. And he does. So at that point, I think you're fine just to hold on to your Mark of Lightning. You can get more value out of it after.
Yeah, because he's not going to be doing anything this turn, so there's no reason to push more damage there.
I mean, that was a massive turn. And his hand... Oh, there we go. So, this could be pretty gross as well. He's got the cards that he needs. He's got the Pulse and Arsenal.
Got another chill.
So, in this sort of situation, it's unfortunate he didn't have Honing Hood. Honing Hood would allow him to reveal Pulse, swap the card from Arsenal in hand, so you can put an arrow face up in there with Go again first.
Yeah.
You can play the Pulse first or last. It doesn't matter at this point. You're just throwing more on hits because you're able to shoot 2 arrows. So if you are going for Lexi and you do see an opportunity to get a Honing Hood, grab the hood.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
With Lexi's ability, it just sets up so much.
It gives you the opportunity to go wide as well, which is something you absolutely need to do against these sorts of decks, which, I mean, you're playing a stack of 40 with a lot of defense reactions. Like you're sitting pretty.
Yeah, and it's so good because it doesn't have to just be putting an arrow in there. Sometimes you're putting in the elemental draw a card ones when they're played from Arsenal.
Yep.
Just looking to get extra value whenever you can.
Absolutely. So this is still going to be a big arrow though. It's a flake out, so I think it gets dominate automatically. Yeah. So I think it's 5 or 6 plus the 4 from Pulse of Oldhim.
Yeah, plus the extra frostbites from Shot to the Bone.
Yep. And then he's going to get a Polar Blast Arsenal, which is always great. Yep. And I think this is where Mark of Lightning might come into play as well.
Yeah, just keep pushing the frostbites. If Zac just opts to take the hit.
Because this is dominated, so Zac is going to be a little bit out of options in terms of defending. He does have that one frostbite, so anything he does pay, which might actually help him out a little bit, might force the Polar Blast back to the top of the deck. Yep, 2 frostbites, so it looks like it was a blue chill to the bone. And does end up arsenaling the Polar Blast. So, yeah, Seth's actually in a really good spot to take this right now.
Yeah, it's a 10-point life lead.
Mm-hmm. It looks like his deck's getting very thin, though, so this might...
This is Lexi problems.
Yeah.
Just running out of arrows, running out the gas.
He might have gotten there a little too late.
No respect for frostbite.
Take your damn frostbite. I don't want him.
Not able to fuse it, but still, for 7,
yeah,
still a lot of damage.
And this hand's looking a little awkward at the moment.
Just arrows and make it in Twilight.
So there's an Amulet of Ice there.
Okay.
But in the Arsenal, he's also got the Polar Blast, right? So you're not really getting too much value out of any of those in terms of like diffuse effects.
Yeah.
You can push 1 more damage across with Mark of Lightning, so you've got to try and find a way to push 3 damage in the 5 card hand you've got right at the moment. I think you just take this no wonder. You need every single card you can get.
Yeah. So it's not fused, so there's no risk of a frostbite.
Yep.
You just want to keep up the tempo. Yeah, he's taking it.
Yep, going down to 7. Oh, sorry, 8. So it looks like a yellow no wonder.
Yeah.
Still a great card, but 7 is just that huge break point, right? So
another Summerwood for Zac.
Yeah. Well, not sure what that was. Someone tripping over, maybe?
Looks like the board's correct, so nothing's been changed.
Yep. I think it might have been Ewan just counting cards.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like there's many left.
Yeah.
So it's kind of now or never. And I think that Summerwood Shelter is going to come in
clutch.
Very big hit.
Yeah. He does have a frostbite, but I feel like it's kind of working out for him.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, because he's able to pitch for both ice and earth. He does play the Amulet of Ice. Which, I mean, you've still got a Blizzard Bolt in hand. So unless it's like a blue Blizzard Bolt, you're not...
I guess you can...
I think his thought process was if he was able to fuse here, then he could also trigger the amulet to try and strip a card out from hand.
Yeah.
But he cannot fuse. Which is pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, that's a strange choice for me. I think you'd want to try and hit a fuse off one of your arrows maybe at this point.
I think absolutely you don't reveal what you have too much, right? You play the Polar Blast. I think even selecting or pitching the Flake out unless it's like a high damage arrow. Yeah, so he's only got arrows now. He has no more fusion cards. He's not going to get any more value out of that Amulet of Ice.
Yeah, I think if you were pitch stacking, that's something you'd know.
Yep. And yep, Chilling Ice Vein, that is not an ice card, so this will not, and I think he's just realising it.
Okay, so that's where the choice came from.
Yep. So in his mind, he was like, yep, cool, I've got another ice card, this is all in play, I think I've got lethal here.
I think I've seen that before.
Yeah.
It's just It says ice in the title, but it's not an ice card.
But my entire card's white. No, it's unfortunately not the case. So it looks like Zach's blocking for 3 here and pitching ice and earth to cover both. So yeah, I think this just spells our game here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just how it is if you're not able to push it over in time against a deck that's just playing quite defensive.
Yeah, I think Seth's learned a valuable lesson. I don't think he's going to be treating Entwine Ice as an ice card anymore.
No, I don't think so.
That's one of those ones that haunts you.
Yeah. 100%. I think. I mean, I don't think there was a way. I think they're just kind of playing it out at the moment. Because like Seth's kind of realized where he's at. But yeah, it's just one of those things you just have to trial and error, right? You live and learn.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to play it out.
Yep.
I think you can see even from this angle that Zach's deck is a big stack still.
Yep. So it's definitely a consideration when you're playing against someone who looks like he has a big deck, how you're going to try and stack your deck to accommodate that. Revealing an Entwine Ice, I think.
It's not a nice card.
It's not a nice card, Seth. I don't think Zach cares though. I think this is just it. I think it's a blue Entwine Ice as well, so it's not coming in for much.
And then,
Yep.
Swing back for lethal.
Yep. He got that 1 life though. He's got a life lead.
Yeah.
But no, this is just the nature of the beast. Yep, Glacial.
Glacial. That'll do it.
That will do it. He's staring at his cards, hoping that the defense value will move up slightly, but I don't think that's going to be the case, and that will be game. Zach, in classic fashion. Oh wait, hold on.
Just attacking him with the bow.
Yeah, swinging the bow at him. Wildly.
Last act of a desperate ranger.
You know.
Oh, and another.
Oh, that's just.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, well, I guess we're moving on to the finals. Yeah,
See
cool.
you there.